Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first ever virtual intercollegiate morning meditation webinar sponsored by University of Virginia's Contemplative Sciences Center, Virginia Tech, and William and Mary. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today and be a part of this inspiring celebration of community. My name is Leslie Hubbard, and I am the Program Director for Student Engagement and Contemplative Instruction from the Contemplative Sciences Center at the University of Virginia, and I will be one of your hosts today. So now it is a great pleasure of mine to introduce to you to the panelists and our co-hosts today. So joining the event from William and Mary Center for Mindfulness and Authentic Excellence is Integrative Wellness Manager Lindsay Heck, who is serving as co-host. We also have with us Special Advisor for Equity in the 21st Century and Adjunct Professor of Physics at William and Mary, Dr. Warren Buck, who will be leading a mindful breathing meditation practice, and adjunct lecturer Martha Rouleau, who will be leading trauma-sensitive mindfulness practices and is also a member of the contemplative instructor team at the University of Virginia's Contemplative Sciences Center. And joining the event from Virginia Tech's Department of Human Development and Family Services is instructional faculty Dr. Crystal Duncan Lane, who will be serving as co-host, and advanced instructor Dr. Matthew Komelski, who will be leading the practice of Wuxing Qigong. Additionally, I would like to introduce to you Virginia Tech undergraduate students Megan McKee and Michelle Morris, who will be speaking shortly. Joining the event from UVA's Contemplative Sciences Center is contemplative instructor and UVA alum Benita Mayo, who will be leading a loving kindness meditation practice, and third-year undergraduate student Gibson Hilton, who will be speaking shortly about the inspiration behind this event. So now it is a great honor to turn the floor over to our first speakers, undergraduate students Megan McKee from Virginia Tech and Gibson Hilton from UVA, who are the main visionaries for this event. So Megan and Gibson, please share with us a little bit about what inspired you to organize this event and what kind of impact you are hoping to see from this event personally and for our various communities joining us today.
Yeah, so Megan and I have been friends like our entire lives basically. And she goes to Virginia Tech, I go to UVA. So we both wanted to have meditation events at our separate schools. And we got to talking. And naturally, we were like, oh, let's just do a joint meditation event between Virginia Tech and UVA. And so, Megan, if you want to.
And so then from there, realizing that we can access so many more people in a virtual platform, we thought, well, why don't we just invite all of the schools from Virginia, or as many as we could contact in the time being? And so that naturally spanned our focus to the whole state of Virginia, and then the community members that are in those areas, and then the community members that know other people. And so that is how it spanned out to a larger population for this meditation today. And so our goal was just to reach as many people as possible and kind of create this acknowledgement of our coexistence.
Beautiful. And for both of you personally, what role have meditative practices played in your life for this fall semester with navigating the challenges associated with the pandemic, the political climate, social change movements, and of course, the normal academic and social pressures faced by students?
Yeah, I think it's important every now and then just to like consider your existence or reality without like all the distractions of life constantly, like, and there's a lot of distractions, as you said, in this current day and age. But I think it's so important to consider like the reality of just like being existing in like a vast universe, and being able to have thoughts and agency over your life. And meditation gives us the opportunity to realize that and see that. And I think the best thing about meditation is that when we actually experience reality, we feel this sense of humility and connection, and a sense of gratitude that we get to be a part of this thing called truth that is like so amazing and perfect. And I think it's important because meditation makes us better and kinder to ourselves and to other people, because we realize that like the very core of our existence is just like awesomeness. So we act in such a way that is awesome, that is in line with what we are.
Exactly. And just to add on to that, um, since we're talking about the current state of the world, whether that be with COVID or politics or your own personal like experiences or conflicts that could come up, I find that meditation is the best tool for me to allow this purposeful time to reflect and then to release from those types of conflicts that come up. Um, so it kind of allows this purposeful time to slow down and to bring awareness to my own thought patterns and how they then influence my actions and how I affect the people around me. So meditation helps me, like Gibson said, to bring out like that inner awesomeness and then to spread it and spread it and spread it. So that was our idea.
Ah, amazing, beautiful. Thank you so much for organizing this event. And I also want to acknowledge that we have another Virginia Tech undergraduate student with us, Michelle Morris. And Michelle Morris is a facilitator of interfaith conversations at Virginia Tech. So Michelle, can you tell us about how you believe this event and meditative practices in general can create a sense of connection among people?
Yes, thank you, Leslie. So now more than ever, we need to build bridges across our different beliefs and unite to work towards a better world for all. So despite our differences in race, religion, culture, or political leaning, we all share one thing, and that's the present moment. So meditation has a way of bringing us to the present moment and uniting us through the inward reflection of ourselves. Meditation practices can be seen across many different religious and secular practices, but it serves a similar purpose to elevate our awareness of the present and appreciate this moment that we all share. I hope through this meditative morning, we can begin to acknowledge the commonalities that we all share as we travel through this practice together, and let meditation create in us more empathy and acceptance of the complexities of what it means to be human.
Thank you so much, Michelle, and thank you, Megan and Gibson. And speaking of meditation, we will now get started with our first meditative practices of the day. And here to introduce our facilitators from William & Mary is Lindsay Heck, Integrative Wellness Manager from William & Mary Center for Mindfulness and Authentic Excellence.
Leslie, thanks so much. And Megan and Gibson and Michelle, just your rising leadership and your ability to bring us all together, really appreciative of that. From William & Mary today, we have joining us Dr. Warren Buck, who is doing very important work on our campus, serving as a special advisor for equity in the 21st century. And also Martha with her work in spreading mindfulness practices along our community. Martha will be bringing to you a trauma-sensitive mindfulness practice, and Warren will be delivering to you a mindful breathing practice. So very excited for them to share their wonderful work. And thank you for having us today.
Thank you, Lindsay. I'll turn it over to you, Martha.
All right, well, good morning to everyone. And just, I want to first of all honor the organization and certainly the student leadership, you know, Gibson, Megan, and Michelle. Really, as Lindsay said, having student leadership is so exciting and so needed and really so comforting. You know, I think as we think about what is going on, it's just incredibly comforting. And so I'm also really thankful that all of you have decided to show up and to pause. I think we forget in this virtual platform the real value that we are still connected, although we are really, you know, we're really virtual. We're still here, we're still holding space, we're holding time, and we're saying, I have this intention to pause and to allow all things to arise and for goodness to be there in this shared, you know, shared commitment. So I love the quote by Thich Nhat Hanh, which says, no mud, no lotus. So without the mud, the lotus flower cannot grow. So as we allow to our experience for mindfulness meditation, we're learning how to be with all things, learning how to have that right relationship with all thoughts that arise so we don't get carried away with the unwholesome, and we can also learn to cultivate the wholesome. And it was pretty much, as Gibson said, she used that word agency. So we really get to see that we have agency, although so much is going on outside of us. So my role is really going to be to offer some suggestions during this practice that are trauma sensitive related, so that we'll practice a few towards the end. And then if you want to experiment with them during the other upcoming meditations, please do that. It's important to remember there's no perfect meditator and there is no perfect meditation. It's actually striving that takes us away from being here in the moment. And we're always used to wanting something to be different than what it is, or we can be used to that, but no, we're going to settle and allow and trust in what is here in this moment. So I'm sure many of you know the first foundation of mindfulness is the body. We can only experience this moment through our senses. You know, our thoughts help us make sense of senses and emotions, and they, of course, can lead us to reacting to what's up as opposed to responding, as opposed to having that agency. So we're going to be actually practicing grounding in the body and beginning to recognize that that keeps us here and steady. And when the mind wanders, we get to come back to either the breath or the body. So by doing this, we're creating a pause from distraction, from worry or regret, but while also pausing to take refuge in all that is good that may have been forgotten. So why do we use the breath in meditation? It's been used for thousands of years, and there's actually 3 reasons that we use the breath. First of all, it's interesting. It's a little more interesting than meditating on something like the earlobes, right? It moves a little bit, and the brain loves novelty and will always seek out something that's new and different. So with the breath, it does help the mind settle a bit more on with interest. Because with meditation, we bring that lens of curiosity and interest while we establish a relaxed body. And second, the breath is beautiful because it teaches us that all things arise and all things fall away, right? We can only breathe and be in this moment with this breath. We can't breathe for the last moment, and we can't breathe for the next moment. So we're watching things be here and fall away. And then lastly, it regulates the nervous system. So the inhale is nourishing, offering that fresh oxygen to be carried throughout the body. And then the exhale, the letting go, the soothing of the parasympathetic nervous system. So it's really valuable. It's like almost like a remote control, right? That we get to see what's going on by acknowledging our breath. So with all this being said, just a bit of a general background, we've all, experienced, adverse situations in our lives, trauma. So the mindfulness community is continuing to be very aware of offering practices during mindfulness meditation that help us maneuver when there's difficult emotions that arise. First and foremost is to honor the fact that if your wisdom and your body and your mind says, no, this isn't the right time, that you honor that and you stop the practice. The second piece is that you certainly can find a way to move at any point in time. We're not here to sit in a rigid position that doesn't allow for the mind to settle anyway. It needs a relaxed state. And there's different parts of the body that will guide us through that we can actually move. And the other piece is that if the breath is uncomfortable, you're noticing that paying attention to the breath is uncomfortable, you can come back to paying attention to the body and moving the body. So let us begin, and I'm going to be playing my singing bowl. And after I play the singing bowl, I'm going to have us just do a arm motion to help us settle. And the beauty of hearing is that we can just let the ears receive the sound. We don't have to look for sounds. We're just going to let the ears receive the sound. Okay. So I consider starting with sound very much like the notifications we can receive. It's a reminder to wake up, a reminder that we've made the commitment, appointment to be here. So, in order to engage and get into the body, initially, I invite us to take our arms out to the side, fingertips down. And we're going to take an inhale and bring the arms overhead. As we bring the arms overhead, the palms will come together. And as we exhale, we'll come right through the midline. And again, your eyes can be opened or closed. You can change that at any point in time. We'll stop at the heart center. And when you're ready on the next inhale, let's go back up through the midline. And when we're ready to exhale, let's let the hands fall away. We get to feel space around us. Sometimes we forget that there's space around us. Then I invite us to perhaps have our hands end on our lap and just bring awareness to the hands resting on the body. Now let's shift our awareness to our feet and feeling the sensations of the feet on the floor. And this is a beautiful touch point to come back to if you're feeling the mind is very busy. But let's add a little bit of movement to the feet. So we can, on the inhale, come up onto the balls of the feet. And on the exhale, come back down through the soles to the heel and lift the toes. So we get to feel the gentle rocking of the feet, going to the toes and then coming back down. The feet, or just feeling the feet totally on the floor is enough, pushing each one down. But let's pause here for just about a minute. Maybe one experiment with the feet. Recognizing that we do have agency and choice during our meditation. During times of uncertainty and when the mind is a bit more agitated, movement can be soothing. So I invite you now, in the next breath or two, to allow the feet to steady on the floor. And I invite you to see if you can let go even a bit more with the feet, trusting that the floor is there. Allowing them to relax. As Thich Nhat Hanh says, the feet kissing the earth. Now let's shift our awareness, feeling the trust of the feet to the body, and to let gravity, another beautiful resource during meditation, is to just feel gravity taking hold, yielding, letting heaviness and the weight be an asset. And what we're really doing is signaling to the body that we don't have to be on high alert, that the chair, the floor is a resource for us right now. You can relax the hip flexors by doing this, reminding us again of our purpose for being here. So see if you can just settle a bit more into gravity, knowing that that's where you can you can come back to if the breath or something feels uncomfortable. And then lastly, for another strategy, I invite us, if you're interested, to experiment, to take our hands. I'm going to hold them a bit high so you can see in front of us. And on the inhale, we can open our hands. And on the exhale, we can close our hands. So continuing, syncing the movement of the hands. So we're a little further away from the body if that's feeling a little stressful. But we're still using the mind to help keep us focused. To your breath, your pattern. And we can add counting to this too, if that's useful. You can add counting any point in time. Gaze is soft, body is heavy. Feeling supported. Well, I'm going to invite us to sit here for just about 30 seconds. Whatever practice feels right. And maybe it's pure stillness, but it's so important to know for these practices that we have options that might fit us at any given point in day or time. So I'm going to take the singing bowl and play it 3 times. I invite you to let the sound be again received by the ears. And then we'll end with that moving arm breath. So let's bring our hands out to the side again and feel them rising through space on the inhale. Left and right, touching each other, honoring that mindfulness moment of them touching, coming right back down through the midline. And whenever you're ready to exhale, inhale again, go back through the midline. Noticing that point in time when the hands release and we exhale, the arms right down by their sides. And you might be curious about them landing on top of the thighs and what that feels like. Opening the eyes if they've been closed and just taking in the space to reorient to where you're at. So thank you all for your practice. And I just can only encourage you to seek out resources that are being offered in all the schools and in your community. We're creating a really nice momentum. So it gives me great pleasure to turn everything over now to Warren Buck.
Good morning. It's a real pleasure to be here and to give you a taste of my practice in breathing. My body just loves these practices. And many things I do are what Martha just explained. So some of these things will all run together and be used at different times. They're all very good. And one of the big myths that I find is that many folks think that meditation makes thoughts go away. And I don't find that to be true. The practice actually calms the mind and the body. And the mind really likes to wander. It's kind of like a puppy running away, running off to play. It just finds one thing after another to chase and run down. And what the meditation practice does is it brings the mind back to the body. And in this practice, I will lead you through in a few minutes, is a breath meditation where we actually focus on the breath. And this breathing brings the busy mind patterns. We have all these puppy chasing things, mind patterns. And this meditation, this breathing brings those patterns into the slower rhythms of the body. And so I do this every day, sometimes a couple of times a day, sometimes more. Finding time, just a few minutes to practice. And each day, of course, is a different day. And it brings different challenges. It brings different rhythms in our mind and in our bodies. And so we have to be attuned to that. And these practices that Martha led you through can help guide you in that, to feel, to experience not only the body movements, the maybe aches and pains, the tensions, the stresses, and where they might be. This breath meditation really helps to soothe those parts. So let me start by going into this practice. And what I'd like for you to do is to sit comfortably. Some folks like to stand, but I whatever is comfortable for your body, take that posture. And if you're sitting, whether you're sitting on a cushion, zabuton and zafu, or a pillow, or whatever you might be sitting on, the couch, a chair, I ask you to arrange your knees, your legs in such a way that your knees are just slightly below your hips. This allows for the abdomen and the diaphragm, the whole your upper body, to move air much easier. And we do it in a very relaxed position. So try to get to a place where you're sitting, knees slightly below the hips, and just totally relaxed. And I ask you to gently close your eyelids. There are some who like to leave their eyes open. That's okay too. I find that closing my eyelids for me helps reduce the external stimulation and creates an environment that's stronger for me to really focus on my breath. So I now ask you to take a very gentle deep breath through your nostrils and let it out. And let's take another one. Exhale. It brings us here to this very spot, this very moment. Now, as you breathe normally, I ask that you put your awareness on that breath. Experience the inhalation. Feel the air moving over the membranes of your nostrils. Now, just put your awareness on the exhalation and experience the air crossing the membranes of your nostril, the air passages. Now, let's experience the full cycle. The inhalation, exhalation. And you might be able to determine the difference in temperatures between the inhalation and the exhalation. And the inhalation is fresh and the exhalation is calming. And also note your body reacts to your breath. Your abdomen and chest cavities open up and expand with the inhalation, and reduce the exhalation, just as Martha had explained in her meditation. It brings me joy to experience my full breathing cycle, the rising and falling of my chest, abdomen. It fills with my body kindness, compassion, gratefulness. I have this wonderful body and mind. When I breathe like this, I smile. May you go in peace. May you be safe and free from harm, from life's inevitable difficulties. Thank you. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Martha and Warren, for leading us through these essential practices so that we can find calm and clarity during these challenging times. So to continue our journey of exploring meditative practices, I would like to introduce you to our co-host, Dr. Crystal Duncan Lane from Virginia Tech.
Thank you, Lindsay. I am now honored to introduce my friend and colleague, Dr. Matthew Kamelski. Dr. Kamelski is an advanced instructor in the Department of Human Development and Family Sciences at Virginia Tech, where he teaches courses in mind-body health, developmental science, and human services. Not only is Dr. Kamelski published in peer-reviewed journals, he has also presented his work at conferences and universities around the world, including Finland, South Korea, and China. Dr. Kamelski is here today to lead us in the practice of Qigong. Qigong is a word denoting a wide range of mind-body practices that help us nurture our mind, our mental, emotional, and physical energies for use in everyday life. The practice of Wu Qing, or Five Flows Qigong, includes a series of short moving meditations to wake up our awareness of flow in the body. Dr. Kamelski.
Thank you, Crystal. And thank you all for joining us today. So we're going to do a very simple set of Qigong exercises. Qigong is a moving meditation, as Crystal explained. And so a couple of ground rules for doing this. One, our mantra is no pain, lots of gain. So I want you to make sure that you're moving in a comfortable range of motion for you. You can do this practice seated. You can do this practice standing, and I'll show you some alternate postures that you can do the practice in, shifting your body weight. If you feel any pain or discomfort, feel free to modify the range of motion, and also feel free to take a seat at any time. I noticed there was a question about my co-hosts. I have 3 of them who are wandering in and out, and if I try to lock them out, they scratch at my door and they make more noise. So, so we'll just have to allow them to be part of our environment. They are Kiri, Kuro, and Kila. So that's their names. There was a question about that. So back to the Qigong practice. So Qigong is a moving meditation. What it means to do a moving meditation, like any meditation, is you have something specifically you're focusing on. And we're going to be doing a series of short moving meditations, each with a slightly different focus. So we'll begin by focusing on a kind of body scan, but we're going to be using our hands to guide us through the body scan. So let's start by finding a comfortable meditative posture with a spine gently erect, body relaxed, and we're just going to feel from one hand into the other hand, almost as if we had a ball. Sometimes this is called the Qi ball exercise. You may start to feel some tingling, you may start to feel some warmth or a sticky feeling, a magnetic feeling. You may feel nothing at all. Focus on the feeling, and as thoughts come into your mind, recognize them just like you would in any other meditation, but see if you can let the thought go and just come back to feeling, focusing on feeling. Now, using the hands as if they were very sensitive instruments like stethoscopes, we're going to use them to feel, or in Chinese, they might use the word listen, into the body. So we're going to bring them up and listen into the scalp, taking a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, see if you can find anything that you're holding in this part of your body that you can let go of. Letting go of any tension in the face, in the eyes, in the teeth and gums. Letting go of any tension in the throat. So wherever your hands point, wherever your palms point, you're feeling into that part of your body. In the collarbones in the chest, just letting go. Let go. Down through the abdomen. Scanning into the body, feeling through that part of the body, in the pelvis and the hips, let go, in the thighs, in the knees, let go. And if you're comfortable, you can even bend forward a little here, not going any further than you're comfortable. And down through the shins and calves, the ankles and the bottom of the feet, feel into that part of your body and just let go. When you're ready to come back up, breathing in, I want you to pull your lower abdomen into the small of the back. Engage your core gently. Breathing out, let your arms just relax on your thighs. And you can continue to do this in a seated position. I'm going to do it in a standing position. I'll encourage you to do it in the position you're comfortable in. We'll do a couple more of these. This is called cleansing breath. Breathing in. The reason it's called cleansing breath is because it feels a little like getting in the shower in the morning. When the water hits us, our body just relaxes. If the rate that I'm moving is a little faster than you're comfortable moving, you can slow down. If you feel like I'm going too slow for you and you want to speed up a little bit, that's okay too, just as long as you're able to focus your mind and your body. I'm taking a half squat, half forward fold here. Relaxing down, allowing my back and shoulders and neck to open. When I come up, I engage my core, drawing the lower abdomen to the small of the back. Breathing in and holding that gentle contraction below the navel. Breathing out, relaxing to the bottom of my feet and lengthening my spine. I'll turn sideways so you can see again. If you feel dizzy coming up, I'm going to recommend that you stay seated when you do this exercise. Relaxing down through the thighs, through the knees, the shins and calves, the ankles, the bottom of the feet. Relaxing the body, letting go of any tension that you might be holding on to. As you come up, breathe in and engage the core. As you release the breath, relax to the bottom of the feet, lengthen the spine, and we'll do 2 more of these. This meditation, body scanning, releasing tension from the body. In Qigong and Tai Chi, which are kind of sister arts, we want to release the tension from the body so that we don't fight against our movement. Tension leads to pain and cuts the feeling of flow in the body. And that's what we're going to be looking for in our 5 movement sequence that we're going to practice. So in order to prepare the body for the 5 flows, we want to let go of the tension from the body. We call this our opening practice. Let the tension go. Remember to engage that core when you come up so that the lower back's not doing all the work. Good. Now we're going to do a closing breath or a centering breath just to bring the breath back, to bring the awareness back to the middle core. We gently engage the lower abdomen to the small of the back and then relax. Our second preparatory exercise is just to kind of wake us up a little bit in case that relaxed us too much. And these are called gathering breaths. So I want you to visualize standing in front of a big tree or a waterfall or on the side of a mountain and just bring that fresh, clean air in to the sinuses and feel it waking you up back behind the eyes. Follow the breath down the spine, into the diaphragm, and gently below the diaphragm, engage your core and relax. So don't contract the diaphragm, let it expand freely, just like your meditation breath. The only difference is when you feel the diaphragm, the breath is full, you make a gentle contraction between the lower abdomen and the small of the back, and then you relax completely. One more. Feeling the air come in, let it wake you up. Follow it down the spine and engage. Now we're going to go directly to the middle core or middle dantian. We're going to draw in, bringing that fresh air in, engage, and release. The visualization of the tree or the waterfall or the side of a beautiful mountain gives you a chance to feel this air that nature produces. As you breathe in, feel that energy enter your body. As you breathe out, return what you have to nature to be recycled. So that you have this sense of being part of this larger cycle. Let nature nurture you. Engage and release. Good. Last one, we're going to gather through the floor of the pelvis. So this is just a very gentle lifting up from the floor of the pelvis towards the navel, but not up into the diaphragm. Just a little lift and back into the small of the back. And then release. So our arms reach down like we're picking up a basket. We do just a little squat. Doesn't have to be far. And again, you can do it in your chair. Breathing in, lift from your tailbone up towards your belly button and into the small of the back. Breathing out, relax to the bottom of your feet. Again, reaching down like you're picking up the basket. Breathe in and lift up and feel the flow from the bottom of your feet up and into your core. Breathe out and feel the relaxation down to the bottom of your feet. 2 more. Reaching down, breathe in and draw up. And now release. Good. And last one. And release. Great. So bringing the hands to the center of the core with a closing breath. Feeling inside. Not only a gentle contraction from the front and back, but I want you to see if you can feel a kind of closing in, almost like a flower, and then opening out. So when you breathe in, see if you can get the flower to close. And when you breathe out, see if you can get the flower to blossom. Now, with the hands together, closing the flower, breathing in, and opening the flower, breathing out. As you close the flower, look for a sense of contraction. And as you open the flower and breathe out, allow your breath and your awareness to begin moving out to your extremities. Breathing in, bring your focus deep, deep into your core. Breathing out, allow your focus to open out to your extremities in every direction. Again, breathing in, deep into your core. Breathing out, open out in different directions. Good. Relaxing the arms down, If you're comfortable, you can put 1 foot forward and 1 foot back and just rock a bit. We'll shift a weight. So of the 5 flows, this is 2 of the 5, and that's out and in. It's very easy to remember. What comes in, goes out. What goes out, comes in. Let's find our ball. Breathe in and compress. Breathe out and feel your awareness expanding in every direction. Rocking forward, breathe in and compress. Rocking back, feel your awareness expanding out around you. It's like getting in and out of a swimming pool. You feel the pressure of the water, and when you get out, you feel your tissue expanding. Breathing in, compress. Breathing out, expand. This time, when you rock forward, step up with your feet together. Again, if you feel your balance is challenged by this, you can do it seated. Touch your toe back on the other side and breathe out, expand. As you rock forward, breathe in, compress, let the dantian, let the core close like a flower. As you rock back, let the flower open. Come in forward, let the flower close, engage the core. Moving back, let the flower open. One more, engage the core. And back, and let the arms relax, feet side by side, closing breath, back to the center of your core. Great, relax. So 2 of the 5 flows, in and out. The other 2, so these come in pairs, they're easy to remember, up and down. So we're going to try to enhance that feeling of rising and sinking kinetic energy in our body. Bend your knees just a little bit and sink into your heels, like you're getting ready to do a standing broad jump. But as you come up, you're just going to feel the energy rise up through your body and through your arms. Sinking down, breathe in and get ready. And rising up, jump in slow motion and let the arms come up only as far as they feel comfortable. Breathing in. When you feel the wave of energy rising through your body, let it carry your arms. And if that brings your arms a little higher, great. Feel it flow through your body like a roller coaster. And down. Breathing in and out. Breathing in, stay in a comfortable range of motion and out like a trampoline. Body as light as a feather and then land and up. Feel it move through your body. Children are exhilarated by these simple motions, but we can lose touch with them over time. As we age, we can lose touch with this simple feeling of rising and sinking and expanding and contracting in the body. So we want to bring that back. Good. Coming down, breathe in. Last one, breathe out and relax. And closing breath, deep breath in and out. 4 of the 5. We did out and in, up and down. The last one is when you bring them all together, you have a circle. Up and down and out and in, all rolled into one. So let's place our hands down here on the pubic bone. And all we're going to do is feel around inside of our core from hip to hip. It's a kind of bowl. Yeah, you see down and up and let it swing like a pendulum. Let the hips turn gently, not far, just very gently. Think about standing on a raft, floating on the surface of a lake. You want your legs relaxed, you want your body relaxed, and let this sway happen. Now, as the sway increases, we can come up and around like a loop-de-loop. From the pubic bone up to the diaphragm, allow this gentle circle to happen inside your body. And we can change directions. So maybe 3 times one way and 3 times the other way. Gentle circle. Now, keeping that feeling of the circle on the inside of your core. And when you're doing this one, you breathe in whatever way feels comfortable to you. Nothing specific here. Just make sure you're breathing. Like John Kabat-Zinn says, as long as you're breathing, you're doing more right than wrong. So feel the circle on the inside. Now let's see if we can connect the circle on the inside to a ball on the outside. You feel the circle on the inside, move the ball on the outside. We'll go once in one direction, once in the other direction. Again, range of motion comfortable for you. Feel the movement is emanating from the center of your core. Allow your breath to happen naturally, in and out with each circle. Breathe wherever you feel comfortable. Last one. Great. And closing breath. So 5 flows, out and in, up and down, circle. And we finish with just a little bit of massage, shaking the legs back and forth, out and in, shaking the hips a little bit, the shoulders, a little bit of bouncing up and down. Good. And closing breath. At the end of your practice, you want to feel into your core for a sense of strength and connection to the ground. You feel into the heart center for a sense of peace. Feel into the upper dantian for a sense of clarity. Clarity, peace, strength. This is what we look for from our practice. Thank you for sharing with me.
Thank you, Matthew. I would now like to bring back our host from UVA, Leslie Hubbard.
Thank you very much, Crystal and Matthew. It is now a great honor for me to introduce to you our next instructor, Benita Mayo. Benita completed her yoga teacher training in 2006 and has additional certifications in mindfulness meditation, trauma-informed yoga, and yin and restorative yoga. She is a fine art photographer and native Virginian who holds an undergraduate degree in rhetoric and communications from the University of Virginia and teaches a weekly yin yoga and mindfulness class through the Contemplative Sciences Center and guest teachers in workshops and retreats. So thank you, Benita, so much for being here today.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be a part of this wonderful event. And thank you, Dr. Kamelski. Mindful movement can help you tap into that space that's already clear and calm. So what I'd like to offer you today is a breathing exercise which is meant to relieve difficult moments. You may also find it soothing, calming to use and be useful at any time. Zen master and Buddhist teacher Thich Nhat Hanh often describes it as being aware of what is happening inside and around you in the present moment. So let's begin. Let's welcome home to the body. So let's just take a moment as your body rests in your chair, the cushion, or your seat, wherever you are right now. Let your mind just rest. I invite you to place the palms down in the mudra of calm abiding right on top of the thighs, just above the knee. Relax and opening to what's in you and around you, the sensations and the breath, feelings, emotions, mind states, your inner environment, your outer environment, the temperature in the room, maybe any noises that you may hear that are in earshot. Just take a moment to arrive. Let your heart be soft. As Roshi Joan Halifax describes, soft front, strong back. Your eyes may be closed or open. If they're open, just gaze ahead and tuck the chin. And you're not really looking at anything. And we'll gather all the threads of your attention. And we'll let our attention just rest at the tip of the nostrils. And you may even feel a little breath right on the top lip. So give yourself a moment to notice. And find the breath, taking soft inhales and exhales. And on your inhale, you can repeat to yourself, breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. In and out. Do not try to control the breathing. Just allow it to be. And let this be your intention for the next few moments. Being fully present in your inhales and your exhales. Breathing in, I am breathing in. Breathing out, I am breathing out. Breathing in, I notice that my breath has become deeper. Breathing out, I notice that my breath has become slower. Breathing in, I notice that my breath has become deeper. And breathing out, I notice my breath has become slower. Deep and slow. There's no additional effort required. Allow your breath to settle into a gentle, natural rhythm. Breathing in, I feel calm. Breathing out, I feel ease. Breathing in, I feel calm. Breathing out, I feel ease. As you say these mantras to yourself silently, you may think of calming yourself into your body, calming your emotions, breathing in to calm your feelings, and breathing out with ease. We feel light and relaxed. Breathing in, I smile. Breathing out, I release all my worries and anxieties. Breathing in, I smile. And breathing out, I release all my anxieties and worries. Smile and release. Breathing in, I dwell in the present moment. Breathing out, I feel it is a wonderful moment. Breathing in, I dwell in the present moment. Breathing out, I feel it is a wonderful moment. Nothing is more precious than being in this moment, fully present, alive and aware. Breathing in, breathing out, deep and slow, calm and ease, smile and release, present moment, wonderful moment. And if the mind has wandered, which is what it often does, just come back to the mantra, come back to the breath, just at the tip of the nostrils. Just a few more moments. And as we move into our loving kindness meditation evokes kindness and friendliness to yourself and others. And with a loving heart, all that we attempt and all that we encounter will open and flow easily. So with our loving kindness meditation, we begin with ourselves, because without loving yourself, it's almost impossible to love others. And so you may repeat this phrase with me or alongside. May I be safe, healthy, and free. May I be safe, healthy, and free. And maybe take your hand to your heart as you repeat this phrase to yourself silently, just for the next few moments. May I be safe, healthy, and free. So now we move to extend these wishes to a beloved person. So I invite you to bring a beloved person to your mind, someone that is easy to love. It doesn't have to be a human being. Maybe it's your furry friend, but something that's beloved to you. And allow that image and the sense of that person to warm you with good feelings and thoughts. And as you hold that being in your mind's eye, you can repeat, may you be safe, healthy, and free. May you be safe, healthy, and free. And we'll hold that thought for a moment. So now imagine you and that beloved being are together. And let the feelings support the meditation, your feelings towards that person, imagining that you're together in wherever place that is safe and comfortable for you. And then as you hold that image in your mind's eye, repeat, may we be safe, healthy, and free. May we be safe, healthy, and free. And we'll pause and let that settle in whatever way it's meant to settle. And now we extend the loving kindness or metta to maybe someone who is difficult or someone you may have an aversion to. And if that's not a safe place for you to be this morning, I invite you to go back to that beloved. And then hold the image in your mind and repeat, may you be safe, healthy, and free. May you be safe, healthy, and free. And lastly, as we close out the loving kindness meditation, we aspire to cultivate heartfelt good wishes, intentions, aspirations to all beings on the planet. And as you hold that image in your mind's eye of all beings on the planet, repeat, may all beings on the planet be safe, healthy, and free. May all beings on the planet be safe, healthy, and free. And we'll pause and let that settle and land in whatever way that's useful for you in this moment. And as we begin to close out this segment, I invite you to bring the palms together ever so lightly at heart center. And maybe repeat after me the dedication of merit. May all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings never be parted from freedom's true joy. May all beings dwell in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. And we'll bow to end our practice.
Thank you so much, Benita, for leading us through this healing and inspiring practice. Thank you, everybody, for practicing with us. And we now have an opportunity to move to our question and answer time. So looking below at your screen, you see a Q&A icon, and we can use that icon to click and text out a question that you may have for any of the panelists or any of the co-hosts, and we will answer those live or we will answer them via text. So you can go ahead and chat out any question that you might have in the Q&A function. give you a moment to contemplate and meditate your questions. These questions may be about experiences that you had today, or they may be about a general application of mindfulness or Qigong or any of the other breathing practices that we've experienced today.
So Qigong, is it all right to answer these talking?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Qigong has two spellings. There's the old colonial spelling, where Qi is C-H-I, and it's K-U-N-G. And the new spelling is Q-I. The pinyin spelling is Q-I-G-O-N-G. So you can find it spelled two different ways.
Thank you, Matthew. We have a question for the meditation instructors. Do we have virtual opportunities to practice with you all during quarantine? So those of you who offer virtual opportunities, could you please share about those opportunities?
Hi, Leslie. Yes, I teach a yin yoga and mindfulness class at 5:30 on Mondays through the Contemplative Sciences Center. And I would love to have you to join me any Monday.
Those are open to anybody in the public for free, just for your information. Other folks?
And
Are you sharing, sorry, Leslie, are you sharing links with the group? I think we all
Yes.
submitted links for them to be able to reach us.
That's correct. In the follow-up email, you will have a URL that you can follow to find resources from the various universities represented here.
Sorry, Warren, didn't mean to cut you off there.
that's okay, Matthew. I think I have meditation sessions on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Tuesday mornings, Wednesday afternoon, and Thursday Thursday morning for just a short session. So we'll give you those links if you'd like to join me in those sittings.
And I'll add also that, and I'm in the resources, I too offer mindfulness meditation Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings at 8:15. And then there's some other virtual programming that is, that's offered. So of course, open to everything.
I also should add, I also have another session, a set of sessions I do at the University of Washington on at Bothell on Wednesday, 11:30 to 12:30 Eastern time, and Friday, noon to 12:30.
I will add on to that as well. At William & Mary, our instructors are so fortunate that they're sharing our live sessions. We've also captured a lot of those opportunities. So they're available on YouTube, William & Mary Health and Wellness. I know Leslie will provide that information to you after the session. Very convenient to be able to join and observe those at any time. That's convenient to you.
Great. Oh, go ahead, Martha.
I was just going to say, I'm happy to talk about the classroom setting with children if you're ready for that question.
Great. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We had a question come in. How might meditation be helpful to share in a classroom setting with children? So Martha, you've worked a lot in classroom settings with children.
Right. Right. So my training is actually first as a scientist and then a science teacher. And then my last 10 years as a public school administrator for 5th through 8th grade. And the first and foremost piece, and I'm working with a group of teachers right now in Williamsburg through mindfulness-based stress reduction, the 8-week program. And all teachers with their beautiful kind-heartedness come wanting to offer it to the students. So how we always go back to is we have to have the practice ourselves. So the first step is to really keep your practice, understand your practice, cultivate your practice. I use the analogy of if someone says, hey, would you like to be a tour guide for Hawaii, but you've never been there? We, of course, could be a tour guide. We could learn everything, but how different it is when we've really embodied the practice. So that's first and foremost, that is the most valuable thing, because how we show up each and every day is the most important thing, the presence that we can convey. And that's what I would tell all my teachers, is that who you are and how you've taken care of yourself is the most important thing, because it's steadying yourself steadies others. The other opportunity, I would just say, if you check out Mindful Schools, that's been one of the programs that's been around the longest. And I believe they have a lot of integrity for mindfulness practices in the classrooms. And I should say, they require that you have your own practice first. Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you, Martha. We also have another question that looks at expanding meditation practices to include writing or journaling with meditation or as its own separate kind of practice. And Megan, I want to ask if you would like to answer that.
Yeah, I would love to add on that there are two different ways that I like to incorporate writing into my meditation practice. One of them being that I would probably do more often is after I'm done meditating, there's an acronym that actually Dr. K taught me, and it's called SIFT. And so that stands for sensations, images, feelings, and thoughts. And so with that acronym in mind, I will reflect and write down what comes up for me during my meditations. And when you cultivate a practice of writing, you can notice patterns. And that's really helpful for me. And then the other way that I incorporate writing is that I actually like to write down my own, almost like mini meditations. So almost like a tool to help me meditate as I progress and keep practicing. And so I like to go into nature and I will have like certain thoughts that come to my mind and certain key words, and I'll use those words as I meditate. So it helps to write it down, and then I have like this toolkit that I can come back to. So that is how I incorporate it. Thank you for asking.
Thank you, Megan. We have a question about, can you explain a little bit about trauma-sensitive mindfulness and how it is distinct? And I'll turn that over to Martha and Benita.
All right, Benita, you're not in my screen, so I guess I'll start. So trauma-sensitive mindfulness practices really enables, as I go back to that word of agency and choice. You know, the typical meditation training has been to pretty much just use the anchor, the breath, a certain point and place in the body that you just use the breath. And this is really allowing, and I'm not sure if I did it when we first started, but to notice where the breath lands the most comfortably for you. And maybe you notice, like today it was in your belly, or maybe it was on your ribs. And then you say, is this a fit for me to keep my focus there? So again, you're having the choice in order to do that. And then it allows us to step outside. So for example, if someone's really experiencing a lot of anxiety, the breath might not be the best place to focus on. It might be the body, it might be movement that we add to it at the moment. So again, those are the practices that I offered. It's not years ago, it used to be that, you know, you had to be very stoic when you meditated and you had to be still and silent inside. But now they're just saying that, no, we've got to really look at how do we help people not go back to rumination or re-traumatizing. Those were the words I was trying to come by, overthinking, thinking about. So thought and the breath can oftentimes bring that up. David Treleaven, Treleaven, is the one who I did my training with, and he's the one that's really bringing the communities together, mindfulness and trauma-sensitive work.
Thank you, Martha. Yes, I'm also in the middle of a 300-hour training focusing on trauma-sensitive yoga and meditation, and the underpinnings of trauma-sensitive involves an invitational language, choice making, present moment experience, a shared authentic experience, and non-coercion. And I'm studying under David Emerson on his clinical work that he has done. And this particular practice, the trauma-sensitive approach, is one of it is clinically based to be an effective method for healing trauma. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you, Martha and Benita. We have another question specifically about Qigong for Dr. Komelsky. Do you have any recommendations to get into an intro to Qigong practice? This is brand new to me. Dr. Komelsky, did you want to answer the question?
I'm here.
Oh, yeah. Okay, great.
Sorry, I was muted. So there's there's a Facebook group that will be shared, the information for the Facebook group, and that's a group that where teachers in our area share links to classes. And so I'm happy to help you get connected to classes and to recommend classes for you. There are different kinds of classes for different age groups and different needs. And so Qigong is a kind of a vast world of practice, from very simple practices like the one we did to more advanced practices that border on Tai Chi, for instance. And so I'm happy to connect you, and you may find some links on that Facebook group, or you feel free to reach out and email me, and I can try to connect you to different groups and teachers.
Thank you so much. And we have another question, it's quite a big question for our panelists. What has been your greatest life lesson learned to date as a result of meditation practice? And I love to turn this over to Gibson first, and then Warren, if you're up for this question. So Gibson?
Yeah, wow, that's quite a question. So I think probably the biggest lesson that I can say I've learned is that I am a constantly changing being. I am not one set way. I'm a free being to like be the person that I choose to be. And I guess like that goes back to agency that Martha was talking about. And just kind of like being able to unlock like my good qualities, like those are for me to unlock, and they're like there. So I guess just like the not setness of like me as a person. I am a fluid, constantly evolving, hopefully growing more connected every day, and just seeing that ability to like transform myself in my own power to do so. But thank you,
Gibson. Thank you, Gibson. Warren?
Yeah, I could, that's great, Gibson. I could say that too. It's just, you said it beautifully. I mean, I've gotten out of my head more. Being a pretty serious research physicist and full professor at 2 different universities, and being a university senior administrator. The meditation has helped me just find a very good balance, and really helped me really know, not think about it, but really know that there's impermanence, and things rise and fall all the time. And the best laid plans, I used to call them, best laid plans of mice and Warren, they can fall apart in a minute because of what things are. And so the meditation practice for me has helped me really understand that more, and really embody it, as opposed and experience it, as opposed to thinking about it, or thinking I'm doing it, or hoping I'm doing it. It really gives a real feeling of aliveness, and it connects me with my body.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Warren. Michelle, I wanted to see if you wanted to add anything from your own experience.
Yeah, I would say ever since I began meditation, I really was able to become an observer of my emotions, rather than every time once my emotions kind of got out of whack, or I got too stressed, as opposed to being kind of caught up in that and having that guide my actions. I was more able to recognize my emotions for what they are, and just very temporary feelings that will pass, and being able to just kind of separate myself from that and be just more of an observer of my own mind, which has really helped me through a lot of different, like just day-to-day challenges in my life.
Great, thank you, Michelle. And Megan, would you like to add anything?
Michelle and I are on the same page with that. I was going to also say that it just brings this ability for me to have like self-autonomy with my emotional state. So knowing that there are positive and negative emotions that are in me and that there's nothing wrong with both of them, but just letting myself kind of embody whatever state I'm in. I find that meditation is a wonderful tool to help me move through them, especially maybe the ones that I don't want around as often. So yeah, that's what I was going to say. It kind of helps me remove myself from the situation and just kind of what Michelle was saying, observe myself. And I'm just like looking at that emotion and I'm just like, it's okay. And just realizing and accepting that we all are like this all the time. And so that's what meditation does for me.
It's beautiful. Thank you, Megan. Anyone else on the panel would like to respond to that about your own experience?
Leslie, I'll just offer for myself. I have a mind that likes to ruminate. It likes to roll things over and over and over again. And then one more time for good measure. And I tend to find myself always in that planning phase. So what my meditation and yoga practice has done for me is truly to help me stay in the present moment and connected to my body. And it's been an amazing journey. And the good thing is the journey continues. There's always more places and more things to learn and grow. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Vanita. Martha, I see you unmuting yourself.
Sure. Well, I think for me, I just, I've had the biggest gift for me really is to remember that, drop by drop, the bucket gets filled. And so as, someone who life experienced anxiety and perfectionism and then a real serious accident with my middle son, I really had to make the choice along the way that, there were waves, as John Kabat-Zinn says, and we surfed the waves, but I wasn't going to make this be a tidal wave. And it really helped me be able to be with discomfort, the difficult, and also have a relationship with my thoughts. Instead of them in charge, I really had the opportunity to have that relationship with all things that arose.
Thank you, Martha. Dr. Kamelski, did you want to share?
Yeah, I was just going to say I'm in total agreement with what everyone else has said. It's really helped me to experience the complexity of my being in all of these ways. And the other thing that I noticed in my life that really helped a lot with was it helped me feel or find a sense of connection to others and to better understand just the interdependent nature of our lives, how much we depend on each other and how much we influence and affect each other in this world. And so that's something that was almost completely off my radar before I started this practice. And now I feel like it's okay for me to connect with people and to feel compassion for people. And I think I avoided that for many years.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kamelski. And thank you to everybody for answering these lovely questions and for asking these really powerful questions. And unfortunately, this is all we have time for today. So I would like to thank everyone who has attended. Your presence here in our virtual community is a treasure. And we are celebrating a worldwide virtual community today. And this will not be the last of our Intercollegiate morning meditations. We are hoping to have another one in the spring. Thank you to all of the wisdom in the room, for our panelists, for our co-hosts. Thank you so much. And we hope that you join us in other virtual events as well. And I will briefly share with you some of those links right now, but you will also get an email in your inbox tomorrow with these direct links. So thank you so much, everybody. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. See you next time.